Let's get it out. Here we go. Here we go. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday, 6 p.m. We're here. What beautiful weather we've had. You know, it kind of rained last night, but we got some beautiful weather going on, but it's good to be here on Wednesday. So, today is hump day. So, what are we going to do? First of all, I want to welcome you. I want to welcome each and every one of you to the Peace Within radio show right here, WIGOAM 1570, Atlanta's Incredible Radio. But first of all, what we want to do is I want everybody to understand why we have this show. Okay? Because the topic today is going to help you understand why this show is in existence. The Peace Within radio show is where people can express their thoughts on their personal passions, their love, and strong desires to find their peace within. Hey, I'm your host, Henry Washington, and tonight we're going to have some fun. Yes, we are. We're going to have some fun, but before we start, let's do this. Let's take it back. Let's take it way back to 1 John, 5th chapter, 5th verse. 1 John, 5th chapter, 5th verse reads a little something like this. Who is it that overcomes the world? Only the one who believes that Jesus is the Son of God. There it is. 1 John, 5th chapter, 5th verse. There it is. Tonight, our topic is going to be a rewarding, yet sad, yet joyful time. And when we get into it, you'll understand what I'm talking about, because we're going to have a good time tonight. A lot of you are going to just sit back and your mouths are going to drop. Yeah, I got you. I understand. I'm excited because tonight our topic is about Poets of Atlanta Spotlight. We're going to have you, Atlanta, in the spotlight, and you are going to say a little something about you. You're going to say poems that you came up with, Atlanta. So, give us a call, 404-361-1571, and don't be shy. I know and I understand that you're not on the radio as often as I am. I understand that. But just take a deep breath and let it out. You would take a deep breath and let it out. And just talk, like you and I are just sitting around having a conversation. That's how we're going to do this tonight. You and I are just sitting around having a conversation. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start it off for you just right. I'm going to set the mood. And, those of you who have already sent me messages and things like that about tonight, and you're feeling kind of skittish about going live, that's okay. That's okay. Understand that later on, we're going to put the live show out for you so you can hear yourself and how goofy you sound on the radio. I'm joking. I'm not saying you're goofy. I'm just saying you're goofy. But first of all, let's get it going. I'm going to start this thing off, right, for you guys, so you guys won't be so jittery, coming on live. But check it, I have a book out, American Hero Soldier Story from Combat to Cancer. It's about my life growing up as a young boy and how I transitioned into a man and the trials and tribulations that I've been through. Now, I have poems in that book as well. I am a poet. So I like to think I am. How about them apples? I like to think that I am a poet. But I'm gonna say tonight, I want to reserve a lot of the time for you guys to call in and give your poems out, and let us hear your poems and your thoughts, your feelings, and your compassions that you have and you want to display. This is your chance. This is your chance. Now give us a call, 404-361-1571, and express yourself. So this poem that I'm about to read is called Almost Home, written by myself. And I wrote this poem as I was flying on a plane coming from Iraq, coming from a combat mission. And, my father had just passed away. I got the call by Red Cross, and they got a flight for me. My unit did everything they could to get me out on time, but you got to understand the time difference between the U.S. and Iraq time frame. So I talked to my father on the phone prior to me departing, and the thing was, hey, pops, I'm coming. I'm heading home. In my head, everything was going to be all right, cause what, I was coming home. And in his mind, as I analyze it throughout the years, my pops has been gone from this earth almost 9 years now, and still today, I think about that time, that last phone call that I had with him before I landed on U.S. soil. So while I was on the plane, I couldn't help but write this poem. It just came to me, and the words just flowed. And I know a lot of you, that's how you write poems as well. They just come to you, or in a dream, in a moment, or you see something that reminds you of something. So I encourage you, even if you go through something. So I encourage you, if you think that you have a potential of being a writer or even a poet, don't hesitate. Just write. Just write. Keep it in a little book and just write. But the issue is, always keep that little book, that little tablet with you, or in a place where you can get to it and you know where it is. You may move 500 times, but at least you know where that little book is, where you keep your poetry or your writing. So, again, the title of the poem that I'm about to read you is called Almost Home. Almost Home. And it goes like this. Never could even imagine this ride home. The loneliest and emptiest feeling of being alone. My father is my rock, my teacher, my friend, the one that molded me again and again. This feeling in my gut is one of pain, one that I know that I will always maintain. My father is my hero, the one that you always thought would never leave or go. So here I sit in this seat on the plane with the feelings of hurt and pain, with thoughts of desire, of despair, and also mentally drained. I close my eyes to fight back the tears as the vision of my father vividly appears. The times of joy and the times of pain is a gift from my father that will always remain. So rest, my friend, my confidant, my dad. You have taught me well, so I have no reason to be hurt nor sad. I give you my promise. As we discussed in the past, I will defeat this disease at last. Almost home. There it is. Now, my father passed away of prostate cancer, and I will have to submit to you that I did beat the disease. I'm a prostate cancer survivor. So that is one of my favorite poems. You can still get the book. American Hero Soldier Story from Combat to Cancer, Amazon.com, or you can go to my website, www.henryhwashington3.com, and get that book. And that's just part of the book. And if you were to get into it and understand, read it, and kind of put yourself into the picture, then you will understand what life is really about. For those of you who have not reached that point of understanding what life is about, then this is the time to grab the book and check it out. I really appreciate. Thank you for your comments that you're sending right now about the poem. Yeah, I appreciate that. Um, okay, I have a question here from Terrence. Terrence says, "Hey, my father passed away, also of cancer, and I would always love to write a poem, but I just don't have the talent." Mm, well, I would say to you, have you ever just sat down and thought about, you know, I know you have sat down and thought about what your father meant to you, but have you just sat down and thought about the words? I would just say, just jot down a word, a sentence, and once you start jotting it down, don't think about it. Just jot it down as it comes to you. You know what I'm saying? So once you have finished and you think you've finished, go back and read what you wrote down. And as you read what you wrote down, at the same time, kind of analyze, you know, understand what you're writing, first of all, put it in sequence. And once you've got it in sequence, make sure that you have something meaningful there that will touch someone. As you do that, just go ahead and put a little rhyme to it. We all think we can rap, but can you rhyme? I know it's tricky. I know it's tricky. But, I said it like it was very simple, but it is, man. You just got to sit down and put your thoughts on paper. Don't let the heartache bury you. Don't let it bury you. It's a beautiful thing to understand what life is really about. And we all go through something. You know what I'm saying? But are you expressing that something that you're going through? It's always good to express. Express it in a positive way. Let me say that. Express it in a positive way. Um, I'm excited, and I hope I helped you. Um, so please, 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 please sit down. Write what you need to write. Go back. Put it in sequence. Then rhyme, man. Put something together. Then go, once you think you're finished with it, put it down for a while. Go back to it. And once you've done that, read it to someone else. Don't let them read it. You read it to them. Okay? First. And the reason I say that, when you read it to them, they see the passion. They see the love. They see the strength. They see the time that you put into that particular poem. So it is, you have to be obedient being a poet. You do. You have to be obedient. Obedient meaning when something comes to mind, or you feel like you want to write a poem and you're busy, you have to take a moment, jot that title down. You jot that title down so you can come back to it. You know what I mean? You can come back to it and you can start writing your poem from there. Because once you jot that particular title down, what happens is it takes you back to where you were when you wrote it down. I know it's weird. I know it's weird, but that's what happens. That's how the mind works. The mind. Just think of it as a roll of film or a picture film. Remember back in the day, we used to have picture film projectors. You know, think of it like that. Think of it as segments. That's what your mind plays when you're doing you know rebacks, punchbacks, as we call it, reviews. Most people call it reviews in your mind. So just take a moment and reflect back and write your poem. So I'm excited, and I know I really appreciate each and every one of you um, sending your messages in. I have another question from Jasmine. Jasmine asked the question, how do you feel after you write your poem? Hmm. Yeah, wow, Jazz, that's a good one. How do I feel? I feel like I've accomplished something. I've let something go. For example, if I'm writing or I'm writing a poem about how hurt I am about something, let's just say about a relationship, after I write that poem, I feel so good. I feel better, because I release my frustration, my whatever it may be into my writing, my poem, you know. So I would encourage you if you're trying to get over or get past something, that's the best way to write, write, write. You know, no matter what it may be, write, get it together, and write. Don't be afraid to express yourself. A lot of us are afraid to express ourselves. I've never been that way. I'm sorry. Now, in the military, I've had to kind of refrain from saying some things, but I say it a different way. Instead of saying what I want to say, my mind and whatever comes out of my mouth will be professional. But in my mind, being from where I'm from, I'm gonna say some things in my mind, that may not sound right coming out. But professionally, you have to say it in a professional manner to ensure that that person that's receiving it understands, and they understand that you're being respectful to them. So write your poem, write everything down and come back to it and just analyze. So, I hope I helped you there. And hope you're planning on writing as well. Okay, another question. Here we go. Here we go. Can you write when you're can you write when you're upset? Okay, can you write when you're upset? Of course. Of course. That's anonymous. I'm sorry, anonymous. But can you write when you're upset? Yes, I think that's one of those times when you should write. Um, Most times that's when the best books, best poems, or best writings, or whatever it may be. That makes it the best. Those are published as well. So when you're upset, write down on paper what you're upset about. Why? Go deep into why you're upset. And that helps. Trust me, that helps. That helps. And if you can, once you finish writing and you go back over it, you will have some messed up words, some misspelled words. You're gonna start laughing at yourself. Now you're no longer mad at yourself or whomever, you know. But what you have done is you've written it down and you just humored yourself because you were writing so fast. You were so upset that you missing words, you didn't misspell words, you didn't misspell your whole name because you so mad and upset. Yeah. So I would submit to you, yes, writing when you're upset is very, very beneficial and therapeutic as well. So, me writing my book was very therapeutic for me. Once I wrote the book, man, I tell you, I felt so free. I felt so free and still feel free, because part of that, well, all of that book is naturally me. You know, um, I just felt so, once you read the book, you will understand where I'm coming from. I just felt so free when I finished the book. I literally, when I finished the book, I laid on the floor with my draft. I laid on the floor with my draft because I was like I just let it all go, and I just thank God, man, because it really helped me, as I was writing the book and releasing some things within the book. Okay, another question, Tamika from ATL. Hey, Tamika, thank you so much for writing in. Tamika asked the question, did the book save me? Wow. Yeah, yeah. Like I just said, not that I was gonna do anything to harm myself. Did it save me as in being a different person? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it did. It helped me realize that no matter what I go through, I can survive. I can build. I can strengthen myself, my mind, my body, and also strengthen others, by telling my story. So, you know, um, yeah. So that's, yeah, it did, so to speak, save my life. And I appreciate that. So yeah, give us a call. If you feel like you want to, put your info out there, your poem, your strength, what's on your mind, give us a call, 404-361-1571. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. It's WIGO AM 1570, Atlanta's Incredible Radio. Stay tuned. Peace Within Radio. Play two. Play two. Two songs. Two songs.